that this meek and humble object will blow our minds.
No kidding. Introducing SpoonTEK, the spoon that enhances the way you taste food.
The SpoonTEK is a neural stimulating spoon. When you try it, when you take a bite of food, it can make hot food hotter, cold food colder, or sweet food sweeter. And unlike other taste amplification technology, it leaves no disgusting aftertaste.
Oh boy, a spoon that makes things taste better.
Shut up and take my money.
Tell everybody at home what you guys are showing off.
So we are the first company in the world to have 3 commercial products that use a mild electric current in the human body for never before seen benefits. Our newest product is called SpoonTEK, which uses a mild current that passes through your food, and as you eat, this light comes on, and that enhances taste and eliminates aftertaste.
That could instantly put all of those cooking shows out of business in the blink of an eye. And it would be so incredible just using some sort of proprietary electrical method, some sort of, I don't know, ion sensory technology.
The built-in ion sensory technology mildly excites the taste buds on your tongue like they've never been stimulated before.
Oh, I don't like it.
The immediate results are enhanced flavour, heightened taste, and improved aftertaste.
And it was premiered at the same tech festival as Morris, the vacuum dryer. So I'm sure this is going to work out just fine. You see, there's a problem here. Passing electricity through liquids like this is a field of science called electrochemistry. Okay, baby. You ready to see what electricity tastes like? You ready to see what Now, if you pass direct current through water, you'll get oxygen at one of the electrodes and hydrogen at the other, meaning that you generate hydroxide at one electrode and hydronium at the other. Those eventually even out to make water. Cool, so here we have our power supply, which is currently tuned up to about 25 volts. And at 25 volts, you can get some decent sparks off these things. I'm not quite sure what's the best way to do this, but yeah, there's some sparks. These things will go up to 50 odd volts because it's about the minimum. So that's it on max, it's just over 50 volts, which is the absolute minimum amount you need to sort of kill yourself. Although obviously, these are at 50 volts, you can hold them fairly comfortably because skin's pretty insulating stuff like this. And at 50 volts, you'll get some pretty decent sparks off it at 50 volts. But anyway, we're not after that. Even your regular car battery, they're about 12 volts or so, and as anyone who's dealt with a car battery will tell you, even at 12 volts you're struggling to pass the current, but you'll get some decent sparks at 12 volts. But in this case we're interested in what does the electricity taste like, and for this we're going to want something a lot more pedestrian. In fact, we're going to start off with just electrolyzing some regular, nothing special water, for which we will need the one thing that no science experiment can be done without: the regular, nothing special shot glass. And some nothing special water, like so. So in the first case, we're going in at just a couple of volts. And a couple of volts, stuff will happen, but it'll take a time. If you want this stuff to happen quickly, we might have to actually, how shall I say, encourage this a little. And when we get the two nice and close together, yeah, you see the gas bubbles. Yeah, so that's hydrogen being generated at one of the electrodes, and it'll be oxygen at the other. And those are the gas bubbles. Oops, that's me short-circuiting it. So, what does the water taste like at the moment? Tastes like regular water. So, what if I actually pass some current through this, which we'll do thusly, by sticking our two electrodes in. to the point where I can actually see the gas bubble generation. That's good. So we've got electrochemistry happening. Now I'm going to take these out and I'm going to taste what the electrodes taste like. But before I do that, I'm going to turn the power supply off. So this electrode tastes like nothing. And this one, very, very slightly sweet. But this is with boring water. What happens if we add a operationally insignificant amount of salt to it? So this is literally a pinch of salt added to my, and it's not even all dissolved. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Water generally has very little in the way of ions in it. So what does it taste like with a pinch of salt in a shot glass? This is energy drink levels of saline. It is incredibly weak. So, right, now let's see what a little power does here. And we're just going to put our electrodes in for a couple of seconds, okay? Just long enough for me to see the gas generation, like that. And one of my electrodes has a very slight taste of something to it, and the other one, ow, tastes like burning because I forgot to turn the power supply off. Okay, so let's try this again. We'll just dip our electrodes in long enough to get the bubbles coming off, like that. We'll take them out, turn the power off. This electrode has a very slight taste to it, and the other one tastes significantly of chlorine. It's probably comparable to pool water is how I would describe it. Meanwhile, the bulk solution itself tastes very slightly different, just very slightly different. I'm not quite even sure how.
So what do we get from this? Firstly, that if this stuff works by electrolyzing your food, the effect is it's going to be operationally insignificant. But even if it does, seeing as one of the ions your food is most likely to contain is chloride, from salt, it'll make your food taste very slightly like pool water. Fortunately, that's actually not how this thing is meant to work. On closer inspection, it's meant to work like this.
There is an electrode on the base of the handle and an electrode in the spoon bowl.
Make contact with the silver acti strip on the bottom of the handle, and on the inside of the spoon bowl there's a small silver coloured emitter. Make sure your food completely covers the emitter. As you eat, the LED light will light up to indicate the technology is activated.
It only works when the spoon is in your mouth. And seeing as not a lot of people eat with spoons in their mouths, it's probably not going to be so useful. I hate to be a bit of a stickler, but people usually use the spoon for shoveling stuff into their mouth. They don't keep the spoon there while they're eating. So the device claims that it works by putting electricity through your body, which might have some interesting effects, seeing as the membranes where your taste receptors are and your nerves are both sensitive to voltage. So only one way to be certain, back to the lab.
Right, now comes the next interesting thing. The way this thing is actually meant to work is you hold one of the electrodes and you stick the other electrode in your mouth. So here I'm going to do that with just under 2 volts. And not really a lot happening there. No, not a lot. So let's crank this up to something a little more sensible, like 3 volts. This is like an AA battery. And now, there starts to be a very slight stinging on the tongue. Now let's go up to 5 volts. So this is more like a USB type voltage. This is probably the voltage they have on their device, because virtually all USB stuff is about 5 volts. Now it definitely, incidentally, I think if I do both of these electrodes in the mouth, then this will be a little more spicy, because then you've got a good contact between the two. So 5 volts. Okay, 5 volts is a bit spicy when you've got both of the electrodes in your mouth. Incidentally, you can do this sort of thing just with a 9-volt battery. You stick a 9-volt battery, yeah, on the tongue, instant, pain's not quite the right word, stinging, probably. Now, after a while, kind of obvious when you think about it in hindsight, you do some experimenting, you realise that it matters. It's very obvious in hindsight which electrode you stick in your mouth, you know, because either you're generating a positive potential across a membrane or nerve or something, or a negative one. So when I put this one in my mouth, I get an almost instant sting. With this one, I get almost nothing, which is okay. That's a little weird, but it's quite pronounced. There's, you know, the red one produces a much bigger stinging sensation than the green one. So let's try this with some actual food, shall we? So let's be really heroic and go all the way up to 10 volts, okay? All right, so 10 volts, and we're going to try some milk, and we're going to try the green electrode first, then the red one, okay? So a little bit of milk for, you know, just a conducting agent in the mouth. So, the weirdest thing ever. I have no explanation for this whatsoever. Right, so when you stick this one in your mouth, I really don't get a lot. But when I take it out, I only just noticed this. When I take it out, there's a salt taste. It only lasts for less than a second, which means it's the response time of the nerves that you're looking at. That's so weird. When you take this one out, you get a response for a fraction of a second when you take it out of salt. Whereas with this one, it just kind of stings. You know, it's just kind of like sticking a battery on your tongue. That is so freaky. I wouldn't have predicted that ever. So yeah, does it enhance flavors? No.
When you take a bite of food, it can make hot food hotter, cold food colder, or sweet food sweeter. And unlike other taste amplification technology, it leaves no disgusting aftertaste.
So the whole thing is basically bullshit.
It's good. Now let's try it with the enhancing spoon. I mean, it tastes the same.
Right, it's just the fact that when they execute it and it comes down to it, it's a plastic spoon.
And when you take a look at their $40,000 Indiegogo campaign, it's kind of obvious why. This was low effort even back then.
This spoon's going to enhance the flavour and make you enjoy your meals even more. 12 hours and 55 minutes later. And here's the tech behind it.
Yeah, and even with the quality production like that, they still managed to get people to give them $40,000.
It is an amazing
amazing innovation. We are so excited that you're going to support us on Indiegogo.
Utilized on many occasions, noticed no improvement in flavor, perhaps even in lessening. Nice light, waste of money, at least not too expensive. Cheerio, to which the project owner replies, happy holidays, Bernard. We were wondering if you ever tried SpoonTEK with plain yogurt or any low sugar yogurt. Interesting thing to suggest. Okay, what else we got? Catherine, no reply, no emails. When asked for a replacement, my spoon came. Never worked. No light goes on. Just an expensive plastic spoon. Please don't buy, as you will lose your money and have no recourse. Learn from me. But they sell it on Amazon, right? I mean, just look at all those claims. I'm sure the reviews will back it up 100%. So what we got did not work as claimed. Bought 3 of them. None of them did anything close to the manufacturer's claims. I had 2 people try them, all 3 spoons, and they came to the same conclusion I did, which is the spoons are outfitted with LED lights, which basically don't do anything.
How do we do this? Well, we do it through sophisticated electronics in the handle. And those electronics, coupled with the human body, power SpoonTEK.
Reviewer 2, no effect. Reviewer 3, flashy lights, 1 star. But when you do a little digging, this gets much worse.
Hi, I'm Cameron Davidow, co-founder of SpoonTEK based in New York City.
Yeah, can't you feel this guy's energy levels just bursting through the screen?
I come from a family of product developers. Just over 20 years ago, my father and grandfather introduced the spoon in the lid packaging innovation for Colombo yogurt by General Mills.
Yeah, nothing more environmentally friendly than putting a disposable plastic spoon in every single yogurt you sell.
Now this nifty invention featured on hundreds of millions of yogurt cups.
It has built-in electronics, which is a first for an eating utensil, and that little bit of current and the electric human body is incredible what it can do. We know that because we've also have a toothbrush called Hygienius, and Hygienius uses a similar technology that pulls plaque and bacteria out of the mouth.
Yeah, that's 100% bullshit.
That's done through a mild electric current passing through your arm as you brush, and it pushes the plaque out and gives you a clean like you've never experienced before.
Bullshit!
Our third product is called Lifted, and it is a transcranial direct current stimulation device that uses a mild electric current that passes through 2 electrodes, which are placed on the upper forehead area known as the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex.
Now.
And what that does is it gives you a small boost of energy just like you would get from a cup of coffee.
So let me see if I got this straight. A small electric current makes food taste hotter or colder.
SpoonTEK's unique technology combines the human body's energy, advanced electronics, and tongue sensory to enhance and heighten taste.
It can make hot food hotter, cold food colder.
Sucks bacteria out of teeth, and when you put it on board a rather sophisticated biocomputer, doesn't stimulate any of the gazillions of necessarily dormant nerves responsible for pain, agony, stress, and discomfort.
Billions of neurons, and in those billions of neurons, most are dormant.
Agonizer, please.
No, Mr. Spock!
So when you're doing a stimulation set,
Yes, billions of unstimulated nerves. But for some unexplained reason, it has the same effect as a cup of coffee.
is it gives you a small boost of energy just like you would get from a cup of coffee.
Next up is a technological solution for optimizing brain performance.
Hi, Sharks. I'm Allison.
And I'm Ken.
And we're the brains behind one of the hottest devices in the world.
Introducing Lifted Neurostimulation.
By entering commands in this pad, I can produce pain in any part of your body. various levels of severity.
Oh, this is a notice to all sharks. Warnings for lifted neurostimulation.
Lifted utilizes a process called transcranial direct current stimulation.
Read along with me, sharks.
That when stimulated has been shown to increase focus, attention, and memory.
No, Mr. Spock! I tried, I really tried.
Do not use if you have any electronic implanted medical device, a metal plate in the brain or head, a pacemaker, or defibrillator.
Designed by a world-class neuroscience team, Lifted is easy to use, lightweight, stylish, and well-positioned to become.
Do not use if you have epilepsy, seizures, brain lesions, or severe heart disease.
Get focused and get lifted.
Do not use if you have sensitive skin or a rash, broken skin, or open wounds such as sores, cuts, or pimples.
Right. Sharks, nowadays, everyone is searching for ways to increase productivity, focus, and performance.
Do not use while driving, drinking, operating, or machinery, or any situation where you may be impaired.
These chemical stimulants raise the heart rate and travel through the entire body, but only a small bit of the stimulant makes its way to the brain.
Has no medical benefit and is not intended to prevent or treat any medical condition.
What if there were a smarter way to get a similar boost of energy using a new emerging technology? We're not making any medical
I'm
claims.
not saying you're making claims, but the point is,
Mark, this
if
is
it has no medical benefit, what's
Mark,
the point?
Also, when I was in college, I sold solar hats on the streets of DC. I introduced General Mills to the two-piece spoon in the lid that was on Colombo yogurt, if you remember that.
Yeah, sometimes the rabbit hole is long and deep. But hey, it's nice to take a break from a mask and look at something literally 1,000,000 times smaller. You know, $40,000 versus $40 billion. Yeah, I know if I based my time on who had scammed the most money, then this channel would be entirely dedicated to busting masks. But this was fun. And that was today's video. And if you enjoyed watching it, maybe drop a thumbs up and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on more content like this. And as ever, if you really enjoyed this video and want to support this channel directly, you can do it through Patreon. And thanks for watching.